Okay, so for this we need to figure out the oxidation number for each of the things in here. And remember, there's a couple rules. One, if you ever see an H, it's going to be +1, and if you see an O, it's going to be -2. And pretty much all the charge rules still apply from when we were doing like nomenclature. So if you see like a metal, it's usually going to be whatever charge it happens to be. Okay, so let's take a look at this. The weird thing in here is we're trying to figure out the charge of the chlorine in here. And if you were just looking at the periodic table, you'd be like, okay, the charge of chlorine is -1. But again, what we're doing here is kind of like the oxidation number for it, which might be -1, but it might not be. So the two that we have to fill in first are the O is -2 and the H is +1. All right, that's just because of the rules, that goes first. All right. We also know that HClO is neutral. So we need to make this equal 0. So if you have +1, -2, what do you need Cl to be so that this ends up being 0?
+1.
Yeah, it needs to be +1. And that's what it would be. Okay? So it kind of throws out the whole charge thing that we used to talk, we're doing in class. But it's only in these kind of weird redox reactions. Let's do the next one together as well. All right? So for the next one, we have oxygen, which is again -2. And we have hydrogen, which is +1. And if you look at overall, there's 2 hydrogens, so that's going to be +2. And then we don't know what the sulfur is. And then the oxygens are going to be -8. And that whole thing is going to be 0. That one's going to be neutral, all right? So what does the sulfur have to be to make that neutral? Yeah, +6. So its oxidation number is going to be +6, all right? Let's look at the next one. Here we have hydrogen H2S, and hydrogen we know is +1. There's 2 of them. So if hydrogen's +2 overall, what does the sulfur have to be? -2, good. And then the last one over here we have H2, so it's going to be hydrogen's +1 times 2, so +2. The oxygen, this one is -2 times 3, so that's going to be -6. And what are we going to do to make this 0? That's going to be +4. All right, so this one will be +6.